Hello everyone, welcome back to part 4 of my ranking every Pokemon series before Legends Z-A releases. Last time we did Gen 3, which I wasn't a massive fan of, so I didn't have a great deal of enthusiasm. This time though, we're going on to Gen 4, so this is a little bit of my street. I'm not a massive fan of Gen 4, but I still like it, I still dig it. I think BDSP kind of softened my opinion of Gen 4, but I did like it. So let's jump straight into it, shall we? Right, the starters. We've got Turtwig first of all. I think Turtwig is a great little Pokemon. I wouldn't say he's S tier, but I'd say it's pretty up there. And I would say the same with Chimchar and Piplup too. Who do I like more though? I'm going to put Chimchar above Turtwig, and I think I'm going to put Piplup in S. He's a cute little penguin fella. What more could you want? Right, Grottle. Grottle I think is kind of dull. I'm going to put him at top as C. Monferno I think's pretty good. I'm not going to stick him in B. I think I'll stick him in A. And what's his face? And there's Empoleon. Primpup or Prinlup or something? I don't remember. Right, anyway, he's pretty decent, but I don't think he's as good as Piplup. In fact, I'm going to stick at the top of A. Oh, hang on. I'll put Empoleon there. Well, Empoleon there. Prinlup, I think, is B. I'm doing this in a weird order. I don't matter. Infernape. He's pretty cool. I like him. I'm gonna put him in. I'm gonna put him in S, I think. Torterra, I think, is pretty good. I reckon he's about there though. He's not like super high, but he's high-ish, and I think that's okay. Now we've got the Starly line. I mean, Staraptor is an immediate S. His hairdo. He's cool, but I think his hairdo stops him from being as high as Piplup. Starly's it's just a bird, but it's a cute little bird that's Pokemonified. I think he deserves a B. I don't like Staravia all that much. I think it's designed kind of. I see where they're going. It's got like a little quiff. So I see the evolution. I'm not fond of it. I'll stick at top of C though. It's alright. Bidoof's a cute little fella. He's pretty iconic. I'm going to stick him at the bottom of S. But Bibarel is awful. I hate the design. I really do. So it's going to be our first D ranked Pokemon. Okay, let's go into Kricketot and Kricketune. Kricketune I think is an S-ranked Pokemon. One of my favourite from the generation. Fight me. Kricketot, however, is kinda dull. I'd place him in B. He's not a bad design, I just don't gel with it all that much. I think I'd stick it between the two maybe. Shinx is awesome. Shinx can go up here. I don't think it's quite as cute as Piplup. But he's alright. Right. Luxio. Luxio I think is A. I think he's fine. I just don't get overly enthusiastic. I'm going to stick him right at the bottom. Luxray, however, I think he's really good. I would stick him below Infernape. Budu, you're rubbish. I hate you. Not as much as Bibarel. However, Roserade is definite S tier. I like Roserade quite a lot. So much so I would place her there. Now, the next two are interesting. When I first played Gen 4, it was Platinum. And I went straight in doing a Nuzlocke. I probably shouldn't, to be honest, but I did. And this little fucker here, this little twat, Cranidos rather, he ended my Nuzlocke in the first gym. I was totally unprepared. I don't even remember who I had. I can't remember who I had. But they just got absolutely trashed by him. I just didn't have a team that could deal with him. And as such, I do really like him. I like him a lot. I'm going to stick him there. And Rampardos, I also really love. But I'm going to stick him here. I'm not going to stick him above Cricket 2. When it comes to Shieldon, Bastiodon, Shieldon's fine. I think he's pretty solid. Well, it kind of looks a bit like Grotto and stuff, to be honest. Yeah, I'll stick him in the same one as Grotto, just for the fun. Bastiodon, I think he's neat. I don't think he's an S-rank Pokemon, but he's cool. Burmy. Burmy's shittier. Wormadam is also shittier. We've got all the different Burmy and Wormadam forms. I'm just going to take one of them. Well, I'll stick them all down here. Right. That Burmy is better than this Burmy. I don't even know the typings. Wormadam, I'd say, is slightly worse than those. It doesn't matter, they're all shitty. They're all fucking awful. They're terrible. I don't like them. Moffin's pretty cool. I wouldn't say it's an A rank Pokemon, but I'd say it's a solid B at the very least. You've got Combi. Combi's cool. I don't like its gimmick. I'm going to place him in low B. Just because I don't like its gimmick, but it's neat enough. Vespiquen, I'd stick with top there. Not an S rank, but it's cool. Pachirisu is also the same vein. It's kind of cool. I don't think it's an S rank Pokemon. Like due to VGC, it got really popular, and you know it's cute, but I don't really use it that much. Weasel and Floatzel I like, but whenever I use them, I find that I don't tend to really enjoy them that much. Like, they just seem to have all water moves, to be honest, so they seem to be a bit boring to play as. I think they're solid A rank Pokemon though. I'm gonna stick them at the bottom of there. I think that's about right. Cherubi. Cherry's cool. I mean, it's just a bunch of cherries, but it's a cute bunch of cherries. What more could you ask for? I'll stick them. I'll probably get more excited than Bastiodon. Cherim, I like the idea, but I don't know. I don't find them as exciting as Cherim, to be honest. It's a neat idea, but yeah. Oh, there you go, Cherim when it's open. I'm not going to include. Oh yeah, I'm going to include. I'll just stick them together. It's fine. It's got all the different forms here. I don't know if I really want to be ranking all the forms, but hey ho. Right, anyway, Shellos I don't like. It's okay, but not fantastic. I like the blue one a little bit more than the pink one. And I think Gastrodon is really cool. I'm going to stick them here. Ambipom. Oh, that's the first of our Gen 4 evolutions. I touched upon this in the Gen 2 ranking, and a little bit in Gen 3 as well. But there's a lot of Pokemon that were just like one-stage Pokemon were kind of shit. And then in Gen 4 they were like, okay, here's your next evolution. It's weird because you kind of think, did they intend it or not? Because there's some Pokemon like Airpom. Airpom is frankly useless without Ambipom. Oi, so I just hit my laptop there. It's useless without Ambipom, so I don't understand why it exists until Ambipom exists. But doing that in Gen 2 when they're not doing another one until 2 generations later seems a bit weird. Ambipom's cool though. I really like Ambipom. I'll stick them out there. Driftblim. I really like Driftblim. He's going up there. Drifloon I like less, but he's fine. I mean, he's got the same design, he's just not inflated, so I can't really put him in a different rank, because he's not that different. But I'll stick him at the bottom of S anyway. Right, Bunnery. Right. Oh, it's got Megalopon in here. I'm not ranking Megalopon, I'm definitely not ranking that, that's on Gen 4. Bunnery, I think it's a cute little bunny. Deserves to be a Lopunny. I don't really get all that excited about it. I know a lot of people like it, but I think it's just, you know, Lagooners that like Lopunny. Me personally, I never really find any incentive to use it. It's cool. I'm going to stick it right at the top of B, but Miss Magius, though, is a top tier Pokemon. Like, more so than Drifloon. Get it there. Get up! Right, fine, I'll scroll up if you want me to fucking scroll up. What have we got next? Honchkrow. Just like Miss Magius and Ambipom, that's another later stage evolution. I think he's pretty cool. I would stick him at the top of it. I tend not to use him, but he's decent. Glameow is a really cute little cat, and I like cute little cats. I don't like ugly cats. That ugly thing is awful. I'm not going to say it's F tier, but I hate it more than Bibarel. So yeah. Chingling, it's one of those other, sort of like a baby Pokemon. It's a prior evolution to, I don't remember the name of it, the one from last generation, the big wind chime. It's fine. I'm gonna stick it in D. I don't like it, but it's alright. No, I'm gonna stick it in C. I'll stick it in C. Right, Skunky and Skuntank. Skuntank I really like. That seems about right. And Skunky is pretty cool as well. I don't think he's strong as Skuntank. I don't like his face. He's got cheeks that are a little bit too chubby. But I'll place him in B. I think he deserves a B. Bronzor. Bronzor's a bit dull. I'm gonna stick him in C. I'll stick him above Staravia. Bronzong, I like Bronzong. I don't think it. Whoa. I don't think he deserves an S. But I like him. I don't think he deserves to be that high in A, to be honest. I'd stick him out there. Okay, more baby Pokemon. Right. Bonsley is fine. Mine Junior is kinda cute, but Happiny is awful. It fits the design, but whatever. Right, anyway, Chatot. Chatot's an interesting Pokemon. It's a one-stage Pokemon, but it's not terrible. You see, it has a signature move, and that signature move is kinda decent. So I'm just enjoying a nice beverage, a nice cup of chai. But I wouldn't really use him that often. I don't think he's very exciting. I think one-stage Pokemon, unless it's a good one-stage Pokemon, like a really good one, I don't know. I think I thought like a bird Pokemon, I would probably not bother getting a single-stage bird Pokemon. I think Top B is fine. Spiritomb is really cool. I used to love this one a lot. Like really a lot. Now, not so much. No, I think that is about fine. I probably wouldn't use it these days, but I still really like it. I still think it's decent. Right, we've got Gibble. Gibble is a cute little dragon. He's a bit weird looking, but it's cool. Gabai, I don't like. You can go and see. Yeah, about there. Garchomp. Garchomp. I didn't used to like this fella, but I started using him and I've sort of grown to like him a bit more. I'm not going to stick him in S, even though I know a lot of people would. I'll stick him at the bottom of A. I mean, it's still an A rank Pokemon, it's still really good. But I didn't used to click with him. I didn't used to like him at all until like one day when I just did and started using him a bit more. Munchlax, arguably one of the best of the baby Pokemon. Not as good as Togepi, but I think he deserves to go pretty highly. I would stick him right there. That seems about right. Riolu is another QA Pokemon. He deserves to go relatively high. But Lucario, I think he's very, very overrated. He's not terrible. Like Lopunny, I just probably wouldn't use him. And in fact, I would probably rather use a Lopunny. So I'm going to stick him... I can't stick him between different fucking Cherry forms. Yeah, I'll stick him more or less in the middle of B. He's not terrible. His design is fine. It's very edgy. It's kind of... He's an edgy Pokemon that people like. Because they're like, oh yeah, he's a cool Pokemon. He's alright. Hippopotas. You know what? I wouldn't like this design if it wasn't for the eyes. But because the eyes, I do like it. I'll stick him in there. I'm not going to stick him higher. Hippowdon I like more than Torterra. But I never really use him that often. He's cool though, he's cool. I'm not going to begrudge him a place. I think that's about right. Scorpy and what's his face? You. He's a pretty cool little Scorpion. I think he deserves to be in A. And Drapion, he is a good Pokemon, but I tend not to use him that much. I would use him more than any of these, so I'll stick him at the top of B. Krogunk, his face is a bit wonky. He's okay. Yeah, I think very similar to Kricketot. I think he's slightly more appealing than Kricketot. Toxicroak, he's pretty cool. I don't think he's an S-rank Pokemon, but he's pretty cool. I'd stick him up. I'd probably use a Skuntank more than that, to be honest. Yeah, that seems alright. Canivine. I really like this. I think he's pretty awesome. I'm not going to stick him high in S, I'll stick him at the bottom of S. I think he's a really awesome design. Just this Venus flytrap. But, yeah, maybe he isn't like the best, but he's decent enough. Finian is just a fish. School fish, top of C. Luminian, slightly cooler fish, but again just a fish. I'm going to say bottom of B. He's alright. Mantike. Mantike. He's cute. I think I'm going to put him in A. With all the other cuties, I don't begrudge him as much as some of the other baby Pokemon, but I'm not going to stick him highly because he is a baby Pokemon. I'll stick him about there. That seems about right. I only put him there because I like Mantine quite a lot, and he does remind me of him. Snova, he just looks like an infected penis. I'll stick him in D. I'll stick him at the top of D, he's not terrible. Abomasnow, I don't think is a fantastic design. I'll stick it in C. Maybe about here. I don't like its design. Another mega. Right, back to some Gen 4 evolutions. We've got Weavile that makes Sneasel good. Where are we going to stick Weavile? I think Weavile is not going to go in S, but I'll whack him at the top of it. Magnezone is going to be an S though. Magnezone is a really good Pokemon, and I really like the design too. I would stick him about there. Not top, but not far off. Licky licky. Fucking licky licky. Licky licky. Where do we put this licky 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 licky? Fucking hell. He's got an awful design. He should be in D, but I'm gonna stick him in C. I'll stick him in the top of C because he does make me laugh. He's a terrible design, but yeah. Rhyperior is kind of cool, and I don't love him. I'll stick him near the top of B. Tangrowth, I think, is an awful design. I hate it. It's a fat Tangler with long ass arms. I think he deserves to go in D with all the other super ugly ones. I think I would probably place him back here. Electivire is pretty awesome, not S tier, but I'd still say it's pretty good. I reckon about there. Magmortar, I don't like the design, but it's not going to be D tier at least. I think this is also C tier, but actually, Magmortar, he does make the Magma line look a tiny bit better. So I'm going to stick him at the bottom of B instead of top of C. Just as a reward. Just a reward for kind of improving the evolution line a bit. Togekiss is awesome. Oh, I do like Mismagius. I do like I'll tell you what, I do like Magnezone and Mismagius. Third place isn't bad. It isn't too bad. Right, Togekiss, not Togekiss, I've just done Togekiss. Yanmega rather. Yanmega improves Yanma. Makes it a good Pokemon. I wouldn't say it's S rank, but I'd say it's a good A rank. I would probably use it a fair bit. I'm going to stick it second to be honest. I probably would use it a fair amount. So that seems fair. Okay, got a couple of evolutions here. I think Glaceon is like really high up in S. I think Glaceon is a really cool design, and in fact I would probably place it at the top. Leafeon I think is a B ranker. Leafeon, I don't like the design as much. I would probably still use it, so I'd place it above Lopunny, but I don't click with the design quite as much. Right, Gliscor, and I'll tell you what, let's bring him up as well. No, Porygon Z I'm not going to put in S. Right, Gliscor, he's an S ranker. I'd say he's about there. And Mamoswine, he's really cool. I'd say he's about there. That seems about there. Porygon Z, he is an A rank Pokemon. He's very, very good, but if I had to choose between him and Porygon 2, I would choose Porygon 2. And for that reason, I'm going to stick him about there. He's still really cool. I just don't think he's quite as good as Porygon 2, and because it's a split evolution, there's no real need to choose him. Gallade, I think, is an S rank. I think, like with Gardevoir, he's a really cool design. I don't like his hips so much, but he's cool. I would stick him... I'd stick him about there. That seems about right. Mega Gallade, not counting you. You, sir, are stupid. I am not going to place you in F, like I did with your brethren last time, but I'm going to stick it at the bottom of D. I think the ridiculousness of his mustache makes him better than Nosepass. Just because it looks so ridiculous. I think he deserves it. Just Noir, I don't think he's quite as good as his other two evolutions. I still think he's A, but I think he's kind of low down in A. He's still good. He's still pretty good. Just not amazingly good. Frostlass I like a lot more than Glalie. Would I place her in S? I probably would. But I think it's more of a Carnivine type thing where... Yeah, well, she's not entirely fantastic, but she's still pretty good. Rotom. I'm not doing the Rotom forms. Like, I'm gonna count Rotom as just one Pokemon. Rotom is really good, really versatile, and I think it's one of those Pokemon that if you get a hold of it, you'll probably get it and play as one of its forms. Rotom Wash is obviously the king, but I think the Rotom line is pretty good. I say Rotom line, it's not even evolution, which is why I'm not including the others, they're just forms. I would say it's pretty high to be fair. I'll stick him about there. Sometimes it can be a little bit of a pain to get, but it's alright. I never remember the names of these three. I know there's like Uxie, Mexpirit, and as something or other. But they all kind of look about the same. I think the blue one looks the best of the three. I'm going to stick these in B. They're not terrible designs, they're not terrible Pokemon. I think about there seems about fine. And the yellow one's probably second best. They look so similar, there's no point in separating them. Yeah. Right. Now we've got the other legendaries, Dialga and Palkia. Dialga's the one with the slightly xenomorph head, which makes me like him a lot more. So I think he's gonna go in here. Not like really high. I think he's probably... I think about there is fine. Palkia, I don't like as much. He's got a long head, but in a different way. I think B is probably fine. I don't think as high as that. I think about there. I'm not going to think about it too much. He's fine, I suppose. Heatran is really cool. Like, Heatran is one of those dudes. I don't know. Is he a legendary? He's like with all the legendaries here. I suppose he is. Heatran is really cool. In Gen 4, I don't play as him in-game because I have no idea how to even get him. Although I've not tried, to be fair. But like in other games, whenever I have a Heatran, I will play as him. If I can get a hold of him. I would say I'm less likely to play as him because he's a legendary, so let's place him there, but he's still awesome. Regigigas I also really like. I know I didn't like the other Regis, and I placed him in... I think I placed him in D last time. But I think Regigigas is, like, legitimately a cool Pokemon. I like the design. I even like his gimmick, because it's a gimmick that's fun to play around with, like in doubles. Because it makes him a useful Pokemon, but you kind of have to think outside the box a little bit. So I'm going to place him in S. I'm not going to place him highly in S. I'll place him at the bottom of S. I think he's really awesome. Probably wouldn't use him all that much, but he's cool. Giratina. Giratina is an awesome Pokemon. I think he's a great design. I like his other form better than this form. This form seems a bit kind of like a bit too short. It seems like he's squeezed. But he's cool. He's cool. I like his storyline in the game in Platinum. I like this form like a lot. The weird things coming out of his back I could do without, but I think he's cool. I think he deserves S. I'm not gonna place him highly in S, but he is decent. Right, Cresselia. Cresselia I think is a really solid design, but I don't really use it that often. I'm gonna place her below Garchomp. Fiona Manaphy. Fiona is one of those baby Pokemon, so I don't even consider it a baby Pokemon. because it's a baby Pokemon for like a legendary Pokemon, a mythical Pokemon, so you sort of accept it. Manaphy is a really good Pokemon, but I don't really use it. I'm going to place it at the bottom. Oh shit, I've mixed them up. They all look exactly the same. Apart from one's got like the little balls at the bottom and one's got the little balls at the top. Right, that's the baby one, right? I think so. Shit. Yeah, obviously Manaphy's better than Fion, just because you'd probably get a Manaphy and not bother with Fion. I think Fion, you actually have to get a Manaphy egg and then hatch one. I don't think you can even get a Fion like normally. I think it's one of those weird baby Pokemons where you actually have to work to get it. But it's cool. It's a cool design, and I don't necessarily mind it. Darkrai is one of those edgy Pokemon. I used to really love it, but now I kinda don't. I think that it's. When I was playing like competitive Pokemon back in the 3DS era, I would see so many people using Darkrai, and it would be annoying as shit. I still think it's pretty good, so I'm gonna place it at the top of B. And I used to really love him until I used to fight against him, and he just used like, oh, here we go, Dark Void. I mean, I know they nerfed him, but that type of thing sticks with you, you know? And because of that, I wouldn't use him, and I wouldn't get excited about him anymore, but yeah, he's fine. Shaman, I think, is really cool. Again, I'm not going to rank both forms. It's a cute little Pokemon. Probably wouldn't use it, but that's more down to it being a mythical Pokemon than anything. I don't think it's quite top tier like Celebi and stuff, but I'm going to place it pretty highly in here. I would still use it and mess around with it, but I wouldn't be overly excited. Arceus, I like the design. I really like the design, but I wouldn't use it. I'm going to place that right at the bottom of here. Yeah, I'm going to place it right at the bottom of here. Like, I think it's a cool idea. Well, I say it's a cool idea. I mean, you've got Mew as, you know, the Pokemon that was like the origin of all Pokemon. And then you've got Arceus, which created all Pokemon. So, presumably it's like how God created Adam and Eve. Arceus created Mew, and then Mew turned into everyone else. I don't know, it's weird. We don't really need a god of the Pokemon universe. It does work well in Legends Arceus, I will admit. I think it works neat as a gimmick in that sense. But, yeah. I would never, ever, ever use him, but I think the idea is fine. I think his design is fine. I just won't place him any higher than A. I'd be more likely to use Cresselia or like Manaphy. But there we go, there's my list. Considering there's quite a lot of them, we managed to bash through a fair amount pretty quickly. That was pretty cool. A lot of Gen 4 forms, where we got like an additional evolution. Bunch of baby Pokemon. Quite a lot of legendaries and mythicals this generation. It kind of just really, came out of it. There's an awful lot of legendaries. We're probably going to have that in a lot of other generations as well, to be honest. I think a lot of the more modern generations, like, hey, a new legendary for no reason. But hey ho. Legendaries are probably unlikely to rate highly, if I'm honest. Just purely because I rarely use legendaries. Like, there's some like Mewtwo where I've got like an affinity to. Or there's some which I just think are just so iconic they have to go highly. But otherwise, they're probably going to be ranking really. Otherwise, they're probably going to rank relatively low. Just for that reason more than anything. So if you really like a legendary Pokemon and I've ranked it like at a B or something, don't worry so much. It's probably going to get a B or an A just by default, depending on if I like the design or if I'm not fond of the design, and that's probably going to be the distinguishing feature. I don't think there's going to be any legendaries below that. I think now that we're done with the Regis, are there any other really terrible legendaries coming up? I don't think there are. I think they're at least solid. So if you like any legendaries, past Gen 4, expect them to be in a B at least. Anyway, stay tuned for Gen 5 next time. I'm really looking forward to Gen 5. I love Gen 5. Gen 5 is my second favourite generation after Generation 2. I think it took some bold risks by creating a whole new Pokédex, and I think probably should have paved the way forward for how Pokemon went. Because this split dex thing where, each game has got some Pokemon but not others is not great. I think it's a bad approach. Because I'm constantly thinking, is Furret in it? Is Furret in it? Like with this new Legends game, I've not seen Furret yet, is Furret in it? And I don't think Furret's going to be in it. We've not seen Furret yet, but there's going to be DLC someday before it's going to be in there. And that's the constant thing you're thinking of. I think if they just left Furret in Gen 2 and Gen 2's remakes, and just had new Pokedexes, they'd be like, oh, let's see what's coming up this time. And I think it'd be more exciting. I think they kind of kicked themselves in the foot by doing it this way instead of just doing a refresh each generation. But never mind. Anyway, we get that with Gen 5, so we're going to get it's going to be like starting from the start again. We're just going to get some like fresh designs and some new takes on old designs. So stay tuned then while we jump into Generation 5. See you then, folks. Bye.